We did some full contact work, worked hard on third down and put some pressure on the lines of scrimmage, so I thought there was some encouraging things. We'll take a look at the tape, but overall that was good, and we did some full speed tackling drills. I was able to come through it without any injury. You always kind of hold your breath as a head coach, but I think we've got some players that need to go out and perform, and you're not going to really test that until you do some live work. I know much has been debated about fall camp, but we're taking a workmanlike attitude here to continue to mold this football team to get better. A couple of guys that we're taking a hard look at, Patrick Arnold is a true freshman. We're taking a look at him in the offensive line. Devontae Cox is showing some good things. Those are the two main guys. We're also taking a look at Ravonte Holt as a depth guy in the defensive line. So there's an indication, one, I think they're pretty good players. We think they're pretty good players. We probably don't have as much depth as what we'd like, but we're making progress. So, I thought Josh threw the ball well today, and a couple of receivers made some big plays. So it's kind of where we're at. Open up to any questions.
After the first one in full pads, I mean, you mentioned you did some different drill work to both offense and defense. Did offense win the day, defense win the day? Is it really hard to kind of gauge it with what you did?
No, it's not. We kept score, and the defense won, so they get ice cream bars tonight, including the coaches. So I decided I'm a defensive coach today.
Yeah. Coach, for those freshmen, is this kind of a fun time after a long time of recruiting them and seeing them on tape and maybe in high school, but to get them in this setting and see them in the team, is that kind of fun for you guys?
Well, it really is enjoyable, and the thing that you can always count on, you're always going to have a couple surprises, and some guys that maybe you didn't think were as far along as what you thought. They're kind of rising to the top. What's important, though, we really believe in this freshman class and how many of them we play, how many of them reach redshirt. I think the arrow is significantly pointed up with the group, and we'll look where we go as we get closer to the first game.
No, after the first week, Craig, I know talking to Coach Hazelton, finding more depth at linebacker across the board is important. I mean, I know 1 week, but is any progress being made there? Anyone catching your eye as far as that goes early on?
I think Voss making some progress, and we're encouraged about him.
Didn't see Shiloh out there, saw him in street clothes.
Shiloh had a concussion, and so he's going through protocol. He'll be out, I think, 7 days, and so today they're doing the proper diagnosis. Everything looks good right now, but we take a conservative stance here with the sports medicine. Dr. Boyer's got a 7-day concussion protocol.
Sure.
Coach, with cornerbacks, I know it was Robert and Tyler atop the depth chart after spring, but obviously two guys below them with a lot of experience. Is there much, of a gap between the ones and twos? Is it kind of just all them in the mix there?
Great question. It's pretty close. And one thing that we believe, that competition when you go out there on the practice field each day is really important. Depth at that position is going to be important. But anytime, I know that's the best pep talk I can ever give, is say one guy's not doing the job, put the other guy in. And so there's open competition, and we're evaluating that every day and every play.
I know you were in full pads today. Will you go full pads again tomorrow and something similar, or dial it down a little bit as far as that goes? How will that go tomorrow?
Tomorrow we're going to go in spiders, which is a real soft pad. Do a lot of mental work. We're going to do some 2-minute drill. And then Sunday's going to be completely off with the players. So we've had a good week, and we need to brush off some things tomorrow. We've installed a lot of our parts of offense, defense, and the kicking game, and we'll brush some things off tomorrow.
Yesterday, the first coaches poll came out. You guys received some votes in that. I guess, what does it mean to get some of that recognition before the year?
Well, I think it's it's an indication where we ended last year. It's also an indication where we're at as a program, but it's a start. And I think we are on the radar nationally. But what's really going to be important, last year we weren't on the radar, and we had a good year. And so we got to take one day at a time. But I think it's rewarding to see that we're at least garnering some national interest. Thanks.
Thanks.